agahon. Coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Having my morning cup of tea this time, green tea. Switching to green tea for now. Got to get my creatinine levels lowered. So I'm watching my diet really well, watching what I'm drinking, what I'm putting in my body. I always start with the weather. The weather report is what I always start. Typhoon Opong, the one that caused devastation in like the Samar area, Masbate area, flooding in parts of Aklan province. It has now left the Philippine area of responsibility, the PAR, the PAR. Actually, yesterday, bright and sunny all day yesterday. We actually reached the 90s, 90-degree temperatures yesterday. And looking at today, it's gonna be another warm day today. It did rain last night. I even heard some thunderstorm and then lightning on the window. I could see lightning and thunderstorm. But that is just our normal habagat season in the Philippines. Habagat season is the southwest monsoon. It will end here probably around the end of October. We're gonna switch over. We're gonna switch over to the Amihan season come end of October. And then it's gonna be cooler temperatures here in the Philippines. It actually gets cooler here like November, especially December. You actually see some people sometimes wear light jacket, even sweaters sometimes. It'll get to the low 70. You know, over here in the Philippines, 70 degrees and everybody starts bundling up here at 70 degrees, you know. We're always used to like the 90-degree temperature, 100-degree. I don't own a jacket anymore. I don't own a sweater anymore. I have this one windbreaker that, man, I've had this windbreaker forever. This one windbreaker, I bought this at Old Navy before I left the US. It says there, Old Navy, active Old Navy. It's got like a hoodie. You can roll up the hoodie, zip it up. Since 2011, I've had this jacket. I'm amazed how it lasted this long, but this is the only jacket that I wear here in the Philippines. Ray, hey, good morning, Ray. From Tagaytay. I bet you got cooler temperatures there, man. Tagaytay is awesome, man. I love Tagaytay. Every time I get to go to Tagaytay, that's a great place. You were very smart, Ray, in selecting Tagaytay. That was high on my list when I was trying to figure out where I was gonna land here in the Philippines. Boracay just won out. You know, I guess I've always been a beach person. Long Beach, I went to high school in Long Beach. I just enjoyed the beach life. That's why I ended up in Boracay Island. And then that's why I ended up staying here last 14 years here now in Aklan province. Yo, Tim C, my good friend in Vegas, he just sent me a picture of like, he's having like prime rib, like a fancy Vegas style dinner, man. It looks delicious, man. That prime rib looks amazing, man. And you got the whole spread, man. That's like so awesome, Tim. Charlie Letts, all right, good morning, Ginno, the Red Sox. I saw that the Red Sox. I'm a big baseball fan. Out of all the sports, I'm a baseball guy. You know, I'm a Dodger fan, so we're going for the back-to-back this year. Can't wait for the playoffs to start. You might see less of me. You might see less of me during the playoffs, baseball playoffs. Dazzle, I got Dazzle into baseball too. She's a big Dodger fan too. She knows all the Dodger players. We always talk about Dodger pitchers, Dodger players. Players that we miss, you know, players that yesterday Dazzle and I were talking about. I wonder who the starters in the rotation. They're gonna have to move to the bullpen, you know, because we have so many starters in the Dodger lineups, and we need help. We need help in the bullpen. So, but looks like I think it's gonna be for sure for sure, Roki Sasaki, he's looking really good. That he's got the heater. He's got the 100 mile per hour heater. Good pitches. So he more likely will be in the bullpen. So we got enough firepower. I think this year I think we've got better pitching this year. Except our bullpen is kind of suspect. But well, should be a good run for the Dodgers this year again in the playoffs. It's good to have Otani. It's good to have Otani. And, being a Red Sox fans there, Charlie, I'm sure it hurts you every time you see Mookie in the Dodgers lineup. My friends in Boston, they always say, Leo, my best friend there, it's like he hated that Mookie got traded to us, but it is what it is. That's how baseball is. But we're glad we got Mookie. And he's been hitting well lately, so I'm excited for Mookie, for Otani in the playoffs. Should be a good playoff run for us. Good morning, bro. Copico is good now, and weather is nice. Yeah, I had to lay off on the coffee. I had some blood work done. I have to get blood work done every month here to check for the main thing that got damaged for me during my chemo treatments. My kidneys took a hit. So my creatinine level was always middle, always good as far as the range, the low range, the high range before my chemo. But after my chemo, it just damaged my kidneys. So I have to watch, and I've been pretty good, it's like I've been pretty good at watching my creatinine level, everything really. I keep track. I'm very particular of what I put in my body, fluid-wise, drinking-wise, and also food. I'm almost becoming a vegetarian now, unfortunately, because I'm finding out a lot of meat products is not good for me, so it's all good, I'm happy to be alive, if I gotta eat all vegetables and all fruits, won't hurt my feelings. It's not a big thing. There's a lot of things that I can't eat anymore. Shellfish, I'm allergic to shellfish now, and even protein. I have to be careful with protein. It seems to increase my creatinine level. So, but I've been able to watch it, monitor it. I pretty much know what I got to do. Exercise, of course, big part of my regimen, my recovery regimen from cancer. So I think I got it pretty good. It's like I'm over 2 years now from ringing the bell. My ringing the bell for cancer. My last treatment was June 26, 2023, and I'm pretty happy with my progress. I didn't realize when I rang the bell that it was gonna take over 2 years almost to get back to more normal life. But now I know. Now I know. When you see cancer patients, when you see cancer people go through chemo and radiation treatments, it's a long recovery. It's, in my mind before, after I rang the bell, everybody was clapping for me. I was like, all right, a couple of months, I should be good to go back to my normal self. It doesn't work like that, with cancer recovery, it's a long process. Me, over 2 years now before I really start feeling good back in the gym. I'm lifting now, but still, I can still see remnants. Dry mouth, I still have dry mouth. Creatinine level, I still have to watch. Endurance, I still don't have a lot of endurance. I get winded easy. I used to be a runner. I could run 5, 10, 15 kilometers easy, but now I can't do that. But I'm slowly building to it. My goal is to run a 5K next year, 2026, March, April, May time frame. So I'm on my way. I think I'm on my way to getting back to running again. Samuel, do you, I do not know that. I do not know what a mind goblin is, Samuel. It was a beautiful day yesterday and looks to be awesome today. 71 with a high 81. Oh, man, you got that's what I'm saying, Ray. You picked a good spot. You picked a good spot in Tagaytay. That's amazing weather for the Philippines. And can you catch any college football today? I haven't watched any college football, Tim, all year. I haven't really watched any NFL football either. I think I saw the one that was free. I think it was YouTube or Netflix, but I'm not big anymore on football. You know, it's like I said, I'm more of a baseball fan. You know, so I've always enjoyed baseball. I like how baseball were, you know, not a call. There's not a controversy all the time. With football, there's always like the pass interference or a penalty, or, you know, it seems like the referee has a lot of control on football games. Unlike in baseball, you know, it's right there. You know, usually talent wins. You know, the umpires has less impact on the game. Same with basketball. Sometimes, you know, with basketball and football, it's kind of turning me off to those sports because it seems like the referees, the umpires, or they just got too much. The referees on football and basketball, they just have too much control of the game. You know, they ruin it a lot of times. You know, the game's flowing, it's a good game, and then one pass interference call at the end of the game decides the game. So I like baseball. I think I like the purity of the game of baseball still. You know, it's like you know, it's all come to the players, and it doesn't matter. You know, they call the Dodgers a super team because we have a super team, but any team can beat the Dodgers in a 5-game series or a 7-game series. You know, it's like it's who plays the best baseball. You know, it's like that's why I just love watching baseball better. Ray, hopefully you and Daz will be able to come to the prom when I get it set up for next year. I'm thinking a formal party for expats that are feeling young again. All right, a prom. Dazzle actually mentioned to me, Ray, that she's never gone to a prom. So she might be interested. She told me she didn't get a chance to go to the prom on her high school years because probably cost, you know, the cost of the prom, and then they were, you know, Dazzle had strict parents at the time. Blessed Sunday, Ginno and fam, Empanay Pasi. All right, blessed Sunday, Fortune. I took mom and Leanna to church. Actually got some malunggay pandesal. I've already had a couple. Actually have 2 bags. 2 bags of malunggay pandesal. One is for Edgar. I'm bringing Edgar some malunggay pandesal this morning because he likes malunggay pandesal. Renz Chan, good day. All right, thank you for the good day. Appreciate it, my friend. Good day, Ray. Michael C, good weather all day. Yes, it was a beautiful day. And let me show you real quick, what it's looking like here in our area. Just beautiful morning this morning. I watched a amazing sunrise this morning, and look at that, man. The sun is already bright and sunny. It did rain last night, but right now, look at that sunshine this morning. It's gonna be a beautiful day here in Numancia, Aklan. Quiet in the neighborhood here. It's still early. I'm looking for the boss rooster. He kind of likes to make it all the way here to this vacant lot now, but I don't see the boss rooster and his posse. I don't see the boss rooster's posse here, but really quiet in the neighborhood. Like always, it's always quiet in our neighborhood here early in the morning. Oh, I see my neighbor there. They always like to sweep, like this trees that they got here. It does lose leaves, so most of us will like sweep with walis ting ting. But gonna be a bright and a sunny day today again. No more typhoons, no more weather in our area anyway. And I think most of the Philippines, there's no weather condition in the Philippine area of responsibility. So all good today here in the Philippines. Back to normal, back to sun, a lot of sunshine, a lot of good weather. Blessed Sunday to you and family. All right, thank you, Rance. Tim C. LSU are currently trailing Ole Miss at halftime. I'm waiting for the comeback. I'm waiting for the comeback. All right, man. I know Ray's LSU, Louisiana State University. I actually I went to training there for like 2 weeks. I lived in the campus of LSU when I was stationed at Barksdale Air Force Base. So I got to see that area, Ray. A lot of times when we were in the military, we received training from like civilian organizations like LSU. They had a I don't remember what training I attended there, but I was in medical administration. So a lot of I'm sure it had to do with some kind of medical administration training. Good morning, Fortune. Good morning, Fortune. My homie can't hoop in high school, but he can shoot in high school. All right, William, all right. No football, soccer game for UP today, but me, Maggie, and are going to Araneta. All right, basketball game. All right, Araneta. It's been a while since I've been to Araneta, inside Araneta. I'm sure it looks different now, but I've been to Araneta. I know where that is, in Cubao. I actually got to live in Cubao before we moved to the United States for a little bit, like 6 months. I think we lived in Cubao before I migrated to the U.S. back in the 70s. Sir, you look. Gus, all right, man. You're not the first one that tells me I look like Gus Fring, man. You know, it's like I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, so I love Breaking Bad. You know, Gus Fring is one of like the great characters on that TV series. Charlie, congrats on the Red Sox. I supported them before. All right, Red Sox. Maybe you can switch to the Dodgers now, Fortune. No, I'm just kidding. You can root for the Red Sox. They're a good team. Red Sox is a good team. Oh man, 8 almost half. All of a little no cars. Good stuff. All right, good stuff. Good stuff there, Tim C. Like and subscribe. All right. Ever catch a basketball at Pastrana? I'm sure you meant Pastrana Park. I have before. You know, it's here in the Philippines, in Aklan. It's hard not to catch the basketball. Even in our plaza area here in Numancia, they always have tournaments. Actually, the basketball court of Pastrana, Tim, I'm not sure if it's still a basketball court. Because the last time I passed through it, I'll have to double check. They had like sealed it. It's no longer open. It looks like a building now. And then when I peeked at the door, I didn't see the basketball court anymore. So they might have taken it out, man. They might have made it into something else. I'll have to double check next time I'm at Pastrana Park. That's where Liana's Kumon is anyway. So I can take a look next time I was there. I was just kind of surprised because before, you remember, it had just an overhang open and you can go in there, watch the games. Now it's all building up and there's air conditioning. I was like, man, you know, they're doing a lot of construction, like you have seen, Tim, like at Pastrana Park. So maybe that's another upgrade that they did. Maybe they'll make it into indoor air-conditioned basketball court. Who knows, man? You know how basketball is so big here. Top of the morning to ya. All right. Hope you slept well. I did. I slept well. Slept early, actually. I was texting with a friend of mine. He lives in Northern Virginia, and you know, he's like, once in a while he checks on me. You know, it's like we were just chatting online, and I fell asleep. It was like I think 7:30 because he hadn't responded. You know, it's like I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm like looking. The next thing I know, I'm like, I'm asleep already. Wait, Boss Rooster near the house? Yes, Tim C. The same Boss Rooster. He made it all the way to that vacant lot now. And I filmed it, actually. I made a video. He had like 4 hens and then 4 little chickens following him. He's just like, he's the boss, man. He's just the Boss Rooster. And the other day, he was here again on one of my live streams. That's why I was checking on him. But we see him all over. We see him by 7-Eleven. We see him by the guardhouse. And now on our street. We don't live far, though. We don't live far from the gate. I would say not even maybe 30-40 yards away from the gate, which is nice because you know, it's always safe because we're so near the gate guard. A high school classmate who was a balikbayan a few months ago gave me Angel shirt. Oh, our tribal. I don't consider Angels arch rival because they never really beat us. It's like the arch rival of the Dodgers, I would say right now is San Diego Padres, and for the longest time, San Francisco Giants. The Angels, they kind of like live, they're in Los Angeles County. I think they still play in Anaheim. Not even sure, but they're kind of like, like our little brother. It's like they never really beat us, or they never really win anything. So I don't consider the Angels a rival. Sun is coming up for you, and the same sun will be going down here soon. Hello, all right, Joel, my good friend in Arizona near the Grand Canyon. Not beautiful pictures that Joel always shares to me. He's got like animals on his front yard. He's got like elk. He's got deer. He's got he lives in like a beautiful country setting in Arizona. The boss rooster and his posse wants to rival the Panay posse. I know, man. Angels not in the league. Yes, they're in the American League. They're just in the same city. Los Angeles is so big. Los Angeles is so big. That's why you have the Dodgers, the Angels, you got the Rams, you got the Chargers, you got the Lakers and the Clippers. There's so many teams in LA. They're your Angels, not in the league. All right, Angels not even in the same league. Yes, not in the same league as the Dodgers. All right, I got a topic. It's like I got to the bottom of the comments here, but I did come up with a topic today. I know people ask me, what's the topic today? I know Belus, my friend from Wyoming, he always, what's your topic today? He always asks me that. So I do have a topic. Let me find it here. I saved some notes. Boss Rooster, the ladies man. Yep, the Boss Rooster is the ladies man. All right. Here's my notes. I got a little bit of notes here. My topic this morning, what I'm going to discuss is life is simple in the Philippines. And this, I'm referring mostly to the retirees that come here to the Philippines, that I'm saying that life is simple in the Philippines. Most of us, for one thing, don't work. With very few expats or foreigners that I know, when they come to the Philippines, work. I do have them, my friend Jamal in Dumaguete, he works online, so he decided to move here from Hawaii, because Hawaii is so expensive. Now he can live in Dumaguete, it's like not even a fifth of his rent. He told me before, his rent in Hawaii was over $2,000. His rent in Dumaguete now is like $400. So it's like, to me, that was like, since he can live anywhere, that's a no-brainer for me. I mean, that's like huge savings, and he's having a great time. He's posting every day, partying, enjoying Dumaguete City. The Dumaguete lifestyle. If you want that party scene, drinking, enjoying the bars, swimming pool, of course, women, Dumaguete is built for that. Dumaguete City and Angeles City, those are always the two places here in the Philippines that's built for that. That if that's what you're looking for, you would be in a good spot. That would be the spot for you. And the thing that for most of us that live here, we just find like a peaceful life here. For me, it's like when I lived in the United States, of course, I was still working in the United States. You were in a hustle. When you're working, you got to hustle. You're managing work, you're managing your off time, and the hectic pace in the U.S. Here is just once you retire, like for me, everything just calmed down. Everything is just slow. Everything moves here on island time now for me. I don't have to rush. I can't remember the last time I had to rush to go anywhere. Even when I have to meet people, with our YouTube, I always just, plan, I'm military, I'm retired military. So I always just leave early, take my time. It's like I've never, when I drive my car, many people here, including Joel, I've driven them to like Iloilo City. They know when I drive, I take my time. I don't rush when I drive. I'll get there when I get there. That's the way I look at things. And a lot of it, for us, now that, you've seen, I have friends here. Most of my friends are actually expats. It's like, I think it's because the last 30 plus years I was living in the United States. I'm just more comfortable. I'm Filipino American. I'm both. I'm dual citizen here in the Philippines. But I've just found it easier to become friends with expats and foreigners because that's what I've been exposed to the last 30 plus years before I moved here. Harder for me to actually become close friends with Filipinos. I have them. I have Filipino friends, but for the most part, a lot of them, of course, are still working. I'm older. I'll be 60 next year. A lot of the Filipinos that I meet even here in our community, they're older, they're younger than me and working still. So it's hard for me to become friends or hang out. It's like easier for me to hang out with expats because like I said, most expats here are retired. Most of us have the time if we want to go fishing, if we want to go just hang out, karaoke, if you want to like just have coffee. So easy when you're retired here. And a lot of times, the thing that I have found that really works, like the Panay Posse, we're assembling the Panay Posse. The thing that makes it work is one of the things that, it's kind of like, I don't know if we have a rule or I don't know if, but we don't discuss politics. When we get together, nobody even brings it up. It's like, to us, it's like the last topic we would discuss is politics and religion. Because a lot of times, everybody knows that's a touchy subject anyway. Sometimes it can get heated, but we don't. It's like we just went karaoke like Saturday, and all we talked about was like songs, making fun, laughing, nothing politics. It's like, to me, we're so far away from the politics anyway. In the United States, what's going on. I mean, we're like thousands of miles away here. And then the politics here in the Philippines, we don't get it anyway. Like even for me, I'm Filipino American. All I know is here in the Philippines, the politics here, the government here, even when I was a kid here in the 70s, it's always just been corrupt. The government, all this corruption that you hear now with the flood control, the government, the DPWH, that's been going on since I was a little kid. Nothing new. So to me, I don't even really pay attention to it. I think the only reason I know about it is because I have to report it to you guys. I do not want to be one of those vloggers where I'm only telling you the good news. It's like I wanted you to like know, like when you come here to the Philippines, what to expect. At least I'm still reporting it. I'm still reporting like the good, the bad, and the ugly here. For most of us that's retired here, like for me especially, I retired here 14 years ago. My health was always a priority. I work out. I'm back in the gym again now. It's awesome. Like I'm really having fun. But it's always been a big part of my life was like when I retired here, focus on my health, work out. I was always like a runner, like I said before. And I was able to do that once I moved here. I rode mountain bikes. I went snorkeling, swimming, running on White Beach. And now I'm back to that. Even though I had my a battle with cancer. Now I'm back to working out in the gym regularly. I'm in there eating healthy. I got bananas, I got fruits, most of what I'm eating. And what I've seen, like with the people that's moved here, that is also a focus on them. It's not just me. I've seen it with my friend Ruben. He has lost some weight, because when I first met Ruben, we met each other last year, and then he finally decided to move here in January. So he's been here now in Calibo for 9 months. Mom even noticed it when we were karaoke. She goes, man, Ruben lost a lot of weight. Because Ruben, since he's been here in Calibo, he walks Calibo. He He walks to like everywhere. The restaurants where he eats, he'll walk. He rides tricycle, of course, sometimes when it gets hot. But for the most part, Ruben's been telling me he walks a lot here, and that has been good for him because it's made him lose a lot of weight. And even our other friend from Atlanta, mom even noticed because we were in a karaoke, he also lost some weight just because. I think because the weather in the Philippines, especially if you're coming from like a cold climate in the United States, when you live in a cold climate area in the United States, it's not easy to like just walk outside. Here in the Philippines, because for the most part, even now it's rainy season, but look at that sun. It's like bright and sunny, so it's easy here to just like start walking. Like for me, I can just walk to 7-Eleven, give me a drink there, a cup of coffee. Right now I can't drink coffee, but it's so easy. Like, and then throughout the day, just going outside, you will sweat here, even inside the house if you're not running AC here. But time 11 a.m. or 12 noon hits, if you're not running AC in the house, more likely you're going to start sweating. Sweating is like a big part of the dynamic here in the Philippines. You will sweat here unless you're like always in air condition. That's the only way you're not going to sweat here. So you lose fluids, you're outside, you do a lot more outdoor things here. I think that's why when people come here, there's a tendency for them to like lose weight, and then you're eating a lot more healthy food here. Fruits and vegetables, maybe not the fruits and vegetables that you're used to in the US. Maybe it's hard to find broccoli or cauliflower. Maybe it's hard to find that, but there's enough vegetables here that if you just want to me, vegetables is vegetables. Salad is a salad, so to me, switching for like a more the vegetables in the US to the vegetables here, it was not difficult because I've always eaten vegetables, I've always eaten salads. So as long as I can eat vegetables here, eat salads here, so to me it wasn't like a hard transition. The thing that would be a hard transition here if like you're a big meat eater. If you're a big beef eater, like if you like eating steaks all the time, it'll be hard for you to find good steaks here. Good steaks like prime rib, Tim. My friend Tim was eating prime rib. That's not a common thing you would find here. I think the only place I've seen prime rib here in Aklan province is at the Mandarin Hotel in Boracay. I don't see in Calibo. I can't find you a prime rib here in Calibo, or I can't find you like a T-bone steak or a tomahawk steak. I cannot find that for you here in Calibo. So if beef and steaks are a big thing for you, Calibo might not be the place, because you would have to like buy frozen, there are some beef that they sell at the Save More, the SM Cherry, the big groceries, but it's not, they're just, to me, they're just like ordinary, kind of like in the US, not the fancy steaks. That's not the good steaks. And a lot of times they're not really tender. I don't know where they get it from. The decent steaks, you would have to go get in Iloilo City at SNR. They'll have like Australian beef here, but the Filipino beef is just not like a steak material, in my opinion. It's like, that's why I don't even eat steak anymore. I love steak when I lived in the United States. I lived in Texas. I was stationed in Brooks Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas for 4 years. So I got to eat a lot of steak when I lived in that, and I loved it. I loved steak. But once I moved here, the last time I ate steak was in 2016. 9 years I've not eaten steak. I've not put like the A1 sauce. Because I know it's just like gonna disappoint, and a lot of times the beef is chewy, it's hard, so I'm like, and it's expensive. Beef is expensive here in the Philippines. So it's one of those things that I just decide, and now, and especially now, I'm watching my health. I'm better off like eating fruits and vegetables anyway, so it kind of works out. And then for most people that I know that's moved here, they eventually find a girlfriend, of course. I think that's kind of like the it might not have been their goal coming to the Philippines. They want to get settled here in the Philippines. But for the most part, most of my friends, they end up finding their partner, and then that becomes a priority, which is, to me, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like for me, even though I do YouTube, I have expat friends, I have people that I hang out with. Dazzle's always the priority. That's why I never. She's number one out of. I can when I decide to do things, or even with our channel, or even hanging out, I always ask Dazzle, "Hey, baby, what do you want to do?" It's like that's why I try to do all the live streams. I try to do everything while she's still sleeping, because I know she'll be asleep until like 10. So when she wakes up, then I can drop everything, and then it's our time. That's why I think it's worked for us, and I see with like other bloggers, I notice that the YouTube kind of affects them, or that's never gonna happen with us, because I always prioritize my relationship with Dazzle. That's more important to me. Everything else is like secondary for me. That's why I think it's worked. We'll be in April, coming April, it will be our 10th wedding anniversary. So we'll be married 10 years come April. And I think that the reason too is like for Dazzle and I, the thing that makes it work for us, we just enjoy the simple things. It's we're not extravagant. We don't throw parties. We've been living here 9 years. We've never thrown a party at our house. It's like we might invite like a couple, to like have dinner, like maybe barbecue. But we've never, out of the 9 years we've lived here in our house, we've never thrown a party. We're just not that type. We like our privacy. Even though we do YouTube, we can still maintain a private life. We don't let YouTube influence. Like we're headed out of town. We're gonna head out of town next week, but that's gonna be our time. It's like I know there's people when we go to like Iloilo City, for example. When we go there, there's many people that want to meet us, want to like take us out to dinner, take it out to lunch. But for me, I always like our relationships is always priority. So we'll just won't tell people that we're there, because the minute people know, like when we go to like Iloilo City, there's so many people that want to meet us, want to like hang out with us, But this trip, I'm gonna get my MRI. My every 6 months I have to get a monitoring MRI, and we're just gonna keep low. We're gonna do our thing. It's gonna be Dazzle and I's time, our getaway, kind of like a mini vacation for us. It's hard to do a mini vacation when I have to meet these people here, meet these people here, meet these people here. And I hope people understand that. That we just value our relationship more than YouTube, and then we can't please everybody. It's like I always tell Dazzle, our relationship's always like the priority. And for the most part, I know that my really good friends would understand it. It's that, hey, because sometimes they'll go, hey man, I didn't know you went to the city. Why didn't you tell me? Kind of thing. But I know they understand. People in relationships, people like they know that that you have to prioritize your relationship. And then my notes here. And most of the Filipinos here that you'll meet here, like in Aklan province, I know maybe the dynamic is different in the big city, like in Manila or in Cebu City. But here in the province, people are just simple here. In our community, even this community where we live, it's a gated community. One of the few gated communities in Aklan province. People actually, when you live in a gated community here, the people outside the gated community, they kind of, oh, you're rich. They automatically assume that you're rich, because like you're living in a gated community. That is the perception. That is the perception of most people. It's just, but to me, it's not like that, because like people like that live here, like me, we got mortgage. It's not like I know some own their homes outright, but for me, it's almost just like renting because my mortgage for this 2 bedroom, 1 bath home, my mortgage here is about $200 a month. If I had lived in Calibo, I would have paid that anyway in rent, for a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So to me, it was not. I just decided, might as well buy, since at that time in 2015, this house, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 88 square meter lot, 40 square meter in, the house. It was only like 1.5 million pesos. At the time, it was like maybe $27,000. I paid more for vehicles when I lived in the U.S. I own vehicles in the U.S. that cost more than this house. So to me, it was easy. It wasn't like and then I was renting in Calibo. So to me, it just made sense. And I'm glad I did because the property values have increased. Somebody actually asked me how much the vacant lots here. His name's Kevin. I got a message from him, and I sent him a message. And right now, let me see. Let me pull it up here. That way I can give you the correct information. I don't know. Right now, this is the published rate. Right there, it's like Camellia Aklan. This is not coming from a person. This is from Camellia Aklan. The vacant lot only, no house in it. Right now, the 84 square meters. That way you get an idea on how much the lots here. Just a vacant lot, like that lot across from me, that's vacant. This is a 84 square meter lot only, 1.1 million pesos for a 84 square meter lot. That's about $20,000. And let me just do the math because I'm not good at the meters and square feet. Always throws me off. So square meter to square foot. So 84 square meters is 904 square feet. So that's not really big, right? For U.S. standards, anyway, that's not big. But here, that's pretty big here. Our lot's only 88, so just only four square meters bigger than this lot. So the cheapest that I see here, 84 square meters, is 1.1 million. So $20,000 for an 84 square meter lot. Just a lot, no house yet. You still got to build your house. And I was telling Kevin, he wanted to build a house like James and Karen from James and Karen's Adventure. He likes the James and Karen's house in Balete. I told him, if you're gonna buy a lot here at Camellia Aklan, you have to follow the way the houses here are built. Not just it's a Mediterranean style. You just can't come up with your own design and build the house. You have to like meet the everybody looks the same here. It's kind of like a cookie cutter house is what they call it, I guess. Like same thing in subdivisions in the US, like in Arizona, I remember, where your neighbor's house looks the same as your house. That's how it is you've seen the houses here. Same color even. There's a limited amount of color, like I think it's like brown, beige kind of color. You can't all of a sudden color your house here blue or pink or there's a certain scheme of the houses here. And then go back to my topic. I don't want to get sidetracked all of a sudden because of that. Like the life is simple here in the Philippines. For most Filipinos that I've met here in Aklan province, I've been here 14 years. Same, I got friends in Boracay, friends in Calibo, friends in our community here. For the most part, the reason why people just live simple lives here, just my opinion, a lot of it is they're just trying to put food on the table for their family. They're not consumed with a lot of stuff. It's like they're just happy if they're able to feed their family. Most of the people in Aklan province are farmers, fishermen, maybe working. Oh, right there, Belu's asking me topic for the day. Tell you, he's the guy that always asks me topic of the day. That's why I'm glad I have a topic. For the most part, people here just like live simple lives. They don't have all the complications of life in the United States. Of course, you got more luxury. You have a better life in the United States than the people here, financially wise, things like that. Even, like a lot of people here that I know, they don't even carry like health insurance, death insurance, no insurance at all. A lot of times, like even for their vehicles, for their motorbikes, just because they can't afford it. A lot of times it's just, like I said, putting food on the table is their priority. Because a lot of times, a lot of people here don't worry, when they're getting older, right? That's kind of like that's usually when you start worrying about insurance, health insurance, who's gonna take care of you. Because here in the province, what you'll see common, I see with my neighbors, the elderly people here live with their kids. If their kids are working, are employed in Kalibo, employed in Boracay, the elderly parents, they live in the same house. That's a common dynamic here. And I know I'm finding out from people that I'm talking to now, people that I'm helping move here, that's just not a dynamic in the United States, unfortunately. A lot of people in the United States, as they age, their kids don't take care of them. There's some, I'm not gonna say all, because I know there's some, I know some friends of mine that's in the U.S. They're in the U.S. because they're taking care of their parents. They want to move back to the Philippines, but they can't because they're taking care of their parents. But it's more and more apparent to me anyway that I'm seeing a lot of times it's like when you age in the United States, you become alone. That's kind of like a common, and being alone is hard when you're getting older, especially if you're not financially well off. It's one thing if you go, I always tell this to Dazzle, it doesn't matter where you're at in the world, US, Philippines, doesn't matter. If you're aging, as long as you got money, you can afford nurses, you can afford caretakers, you can afford all the services that you will be treated like a VIP anywhere you go because you got money. But a lot of times what I'm seeing is a lot of older Americans, they don't have the money. The only money they have is like Social Security. And some people blame them, well, they didn't save money, but not everybody can get in that position where they can save money. Some people go through divorce. Divorce is like will wipe you out in the US. If you get divorced in the US, that will wipe you out. So maybe a lot of your savings that you have gets wiped out, maybe an illness. So a lot of times that's a dynamic that that's I think that's a problem for a lot of Americans as they age. That's why you got so many people ending up in nursing homes and assisted living in the U.S. because here I don't see many. I don't see many nursing homes or assisted living. I don't even know if one exists here in Aklan province, to tell you the truth. I have never seen a nursing home in Kalibo or in because the dynamic here in the Philippines, when our lolo or our lola, when they get older, when they get sick, we're committed to taking care of them. It's like, to me, Fortune can talk about this. It would be a disgrace to like a Filipino family if they left lolo or lola just like nobody taking care of them. That would be like, that's a big no-no, for Filipinos. We take care of our elderly here. Just trying to see my notes, make sure I cover. My memory is not as good anymore, so I always have to. And with that, with the family dynamic here, Filipinos, like, we like to get together. It's like with Dazzle's family, mom, Dazzle's sister, brother, we're always getting together. That's a common dynamic here. Unfortunately, I think that happens in the U.S. too, I'm sure. Like I said, there's families in the U.S. too, but a lot of times it's not the same. It's like when I was in the U.S., my 30 years plus in the U.S., my family here in the Philippines, before we left, before we all migrated to the US, we all got together like we do now, with my family here, with Dazzle's family. We got to get together. That was the same dynamic. But once we got to the US, we kind of like went to California, went to Texas, went to New Jersey, went to New York. We kind of got spread out in the US. And we would be lucky if we saw each other every 3 or 5 years. And it's hard, maybe now it's easier with social media, easier to keep up with relatives in the US, but you just lose that bondness, that closeness, when you're like, you don't have that immediate people surrounding, helping each other. Like here, like when I got sick, Dazzle, her family, they're all rallied. They're like, oh, Gino's got to go to, I got to go to Iloilo City. Who's gonna take care of the dogs? Who's gonna watch the house? You guys, there was that dynamic. In the U.S., a lot of times, what happens if you're living, like, let's say in California, and your relatives are in Texas, New York, New Jersey, you really can't expect them to help you. I mean, they'll send their love, hey, get well soon, but they're not gonna be there for you physically, to like assist you. Here, you will find out that's a more common dynamic here. If you come here, you meet a Filipina, you embrace the Filipina's family. If something goes wrong with you, if you get ill, they're gonna take care of you. I guarantee you that they're gonna take care of you. I've seen it here many times. That's why a lot of the expats that I know here, our friends here, they feel blessed that they found another family here, that they were able to start another family here. And the last thing I'm gonna add to it, I know they might be controversial. I'm not trying to like push religion or anything like that. Our channel, I try to be not political, not religious. But the one thing that bonds a lot of Filipinos here in the Philippines is religion. Filipinos are religious. If you're not used to that, that's going to be a new dynamic for you. Religion is a big part of Filipinos' lives. And it doesn't have to be Catholicism, Protestant, Baptist, you name it. All religions are here in the Philippines. And everybody just respects everybody to whatever religion that they believe in. And I think it bonds Filipinos. It's like fiesta. Fiesta here in the Philippines. It's a religious celebration. And you cannot find a single barangay, single town here that doesn't have fiesta. And fiesta is just a fun time. Everybody cuts loose, everybody just has fun, everybody's happy to see. You find community because of fiesta. Again, fiesta is a religious, it goes back to religion. Not I'm saying you got to find religion or you got to do religion when you get to the Philippines, but all I'm saying is that's what bonds a lot of Filipinos here. Like an atheist, right? It's like I heard that term like even when I was in the U.S. Atheism, people that don't believe in God. I have no problem with people that don't believe in God, just because that's their right. In the U.S., we're taught that, right? You can believe in God or you can't believe in God. That is your right. Nothing wrong with either one. Here in the Philippines, you're not gonna meet a lot of atheists. I think the whole time I was here, I was in college. I was in college for 4 years at STI Calibo. I met one person that was an atheist, and he admitted to me that he's an atheist. He didn't believe in God. One. Out of all the time, most of the people pray, most of the people do, but one person, So if you're an atheist, you might struggle here in the Philippines because you're going to be surrounded by people that believe in God, believe in religion. Just as like I said, nothing wrong with being an atheist. It's like and my last thought on my topic, that's life is simple here in the Philippines, especially for retirees. If you do come here to the Philippines and you're one of those person that you felt alone in the U.S., you felt like you didn't have family in the U.S., that's why part of the reason that you came here is you want to find a Filipina, you want to start a family. Many people here, in their 50s, in their 60s, start a family here. I think it's more accepted here than in the US. If somebody in the US in their 60s have a baby, they're gonna be going like, "Are you crazy?" You know, it's like that would be probably like, "What are you doing? You're like retirement age already, and you're having a baby." More accepted here in the Philippines. Here in the Philippines, for most people here, even if you're 60, even if you're 70 and older, if you have a baby, most people will still say, "Oh, what a blessing." That is still the thing. You know, it's not like they're gonna say, "What are you doing? You're crazy." It's not like that. You know, it's like many people I know that come here later in life, in their 50s, 60s, start a family. Um, to me, you know, it's like their choice. You know, to me, nothing wrong with that. To me, once you get at a certain age, you really got to stop thinking about what other people think about you. You know, I was talking to a friend. I was telling him, you know, it's like he told me, I just don't see dating somebody 20 years younger than me. And then I asked him why. You know, it's like, why are you limiting yourself? You know, what happened? You know, is there? And I know it's because in the US, you know, that's kind of looked down. I mean, if you're 20 years older than somebody, 30 years older than somebody, usually the older person's got to have a lot of money, right? You know, that's the only reason they'll say, "Oh, that girl's not, you know, with you just because of your money." You know, that kind of thing. So to me, you know, at some point in your life, I think you just got to find your happiness, find your joy, find your peace. Whoever brings it to you. If it's a person 20 years younger than you, 30 years younger to you, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know, it's like if you try to like follow all these rules that I don't know where the rules came from anyway, right? You know, who made up these rules? You know, to me, just do you. You know, find yourself, find your happiness. Stop living for other people. You know, it's like I think once you find that, you know, you're gonna have a happier life. You're gonna live a better life once you stop thinking about what other people think about you. Good morning. All right. Unard. All right. Good morning, sir. Ginno, greetings from Alaska. All right, Alaska. I've been there. I've been to Alaska a long time ago. I was at Anchorage, Alaska. That used to be when I used to catch a military plane from Japan or Korea or the Philippines. We always went through Elmendorf Air Force Base in Anchorage, Alaska. Ray says, "Good morning, Unard. Fortune, the city is the home of the flesh. The province is the home of the soul." Oh, wow. That's deep. That's deep, Fortune. I love that. You do, man. For me, the province is like the way to go here in the Philippines. Just because it is hard if you're the person that's looking for a peace and happiness. A lot easier to find it in the province than in the city. The city is just too hectic for me. Even Iloilo, I love going to Iloilo. It's my favorite city in the Philippines. I always preach best city in the Philippines. But even in Iloilo, when I go to Iloilo, I usually can handle it maybe for 4 or 5 days. After that, I'm ready to go back to the province. The noise, you know, it's like when you come out of your hotel, that noise, the honking, the sound of the city. You know, I always talk about it when I walk in Iloilo City. The sound of the city is nice for a little bit, for a vacation, to go shopping, to go SNR, but I cannot put a price on the peacefulness that I find here in Aklan province and in our neighborhood. I mean, like, I'll show you again. I'll show you again outside what I mean by like the peacefulness and the sunshine. I mean, it's now 7:18, but I can just go outside here and not hear anything. I can hear birds. Yeah, right there, I can hear birds. Bright, sunny, bright. I do not want to lose you guys. The internet always is like that here, you know, sometimes, especially when it's like raining outside or something always happens to our internet. Hopefully I did not lose you guys. But it looks like it's still going. Looks like the live stream is still going. but I can just find peacefulness here. That's why even on my morning walks, even when Dazzle and I at sunset, we always walk together at sunset here. Love seeing the sunset here. To me, I just found peace here. That's why I love, this is it for me. And it's like, we plan on building a house someday in our land that we bought in Aklan, but, I'm never leaving Aklan province. This is my, I guess, my forever home is Aklan province now. You should make a video with Mr. Edgar telling us how he likes the Philippines so far. All right. It would be a good video. All right, I will ask it. I will ask Edgar. I do not want to put any pressure on him. He's still adjusting, but I'll ask him if he's willing. Maybe I can even do like a live stream with him. That way, I'll ask him if he doesn't mind if I do a live stream at his apartment so you guys can see. One thing that made simple in Philippines is making friends. The commonalities are baked in with the type of people that choose to move here. Good. That's great. Amen, brother. Like for me, for Ray, when I met Ray, just so easy, right? Ray, like I met him at Lara's birthday party at Mike and Kat's house in Rojas City. I mean, we just like, it's like I knew him. It's like Ray knew me. He's playing with Dazzle in the golf club, so we're talking, we're chatting. It's just, I guess because we have commonality. We all wanted a life here in the Philippines. USD rate to peso is above 58. I hope it stays that way. I know it's always good. I mean, for us, it's awesome when you see like the exchange rate go up like that. It's like more money for our pension here in the Philippines. I'm Batman. I like your name. I'm Batman. I love that. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. That boy said that, but I'm Batman. Tim C. It always goes down when I get my payment. Still dip a couple of days. Usually, this is the time. Usually, like October, November, it starts going up again, and then a lot of times, you'll see a dip like December because when all the balikbayan, all the OFW, when they come home to the Philippines, they bring in a lot of dollars and they spend their dollars here. It goes up and down because the Philippines, they use dollars to pay for gasoline, for oil, to buy oil to come to the Philippines. So that's usually the gauge, but it's great right now, if you have dollars, start exchanging dollars now. It's like the highest I've seen, like Fortune, like says here, 59. So we're not far, we're not far from like the all-time high for the dollar to Philippine exchange. So the minute I see 59, whatever dollar I have, I'm exchanging all of it. If he hits 60, I'm gonna splurge on Liana's hard work on her roll. Thank you, Tim C. I'll splurge on Jollibee. That's how the brain goes. I'm going to Jollibee. Mahogany beef. Oh yeah, man. I'm glad you know about Mahogany Market in Tagaytay already, Ray. I mean, I love that on the second floor, the bulalo, that beef bulalo there is like amazing. That's like one of my favorite food that I've eaten in Tagaytay. Tim C, sorry bro, probably not cool to show you the beef, but it's a reminder. Oh no, it's like it's like I said, I haven't eaten beef like prime rib. I haven't eaten any of that in like 9 years. It's not a big thing to me anymore. Trying to bring Dazzle one time. Yeah, well, that's still the goal one day. It's like once I get my Social Security, I'm only less than 3 years away from it now. We'll have more money to travel and traveling, visiting the United States for sure. I want to show Dazzle the United States. Good morning, Ginno. My favorite place to shop is SNR for beef or Alaskan salmon. I know. Dazzle has tried the Alaskan salmon at SNR. That's what I said. If you're like a beef eater, maybe you need to live close to SNR because they get good steaks there. Not all frozen either. I've seen the frozen Australian steaks at SNR, but they got fresh. I don't know how they get it to SNR, but They look like the same steaks I've eaten in the United States. You know, it's like big steaks, T-bones. We just don't have that here in Calibo. we don't have steaks here in Calibo. Yes, imported is better quality, but I've been able to work some magic. Oh yeah, I'm sure because Ray, you're in Tagaytay, like a mahogany market. You know, that's like probably the best, probably like the best beef that you're gonna see here in the Philippines, and the central bank won't allow it to hit 60. All right, all right. Good tip. Good tip there, Fortune. When I see 59, I'm selling. I'm selling. I got a few dollars. Hidden, you know, so I'm going to have to. Hello from Ukraine. Wow, wow, wow. Hope I'm praying for you in Ukraine. I know, you know, I always hear the war. I always hear news in Ukraine. Never good. Never good is what. Hope praying for you in Ukraine, my friend. What it do? What it do, Ray? What it do? Scuba Steve, Scuba Steve. How bad was the cyclone where you are? Wasn't bad for our area at all, like Numancia and Calibo. No flooding, no damage. In Aklan province, there was Tangalan was one of the town, and Ibahay one of the town. There's 17 towns in Aklan, and Ibahay got hit with a lot of rain. It flooded, but the flood's gone. You know, the one thing here, when it floods, when they say flood, it'll get to like, you know, about this deep, you know, on the flood. But like the next day, it's all gone. You know, it doesn't stay. The floods don't stay. But I know Ibahay, they announced a state of calamity in the town of Ibahay. They were the one, and most of it was rain, like heavy rain, that caused all the flooding in Ibahay. Scuba Steve, brother, good in the hood. All right, Scuba Steve. The worst part about all of it is the increased tax rate. My dad's tax rate has increased since he retired. Oh, property tax, okay. Here, not a problem with property tax here. And I've said it many times here in the property tax, like even for our town in Numancia, very minimal because you know, I know the dynamic in the United States, like the property tax where you live, they use that to pay for schools, parks, sometimes the police, you know, they need a high property tax. Here, low property tax because the school here, Department of Education, kind of like the federal government of the Philippines pays for public education, and we, you know, the parks minimal. You know, we don't really have big parks here. Numancia Park is small, not a lot to maintain it. Not the same, you know, with property tax. And here, when you have a mortgage, when you don't own your property, you don't have to pay property tax. When you're the minute you have to pay property tax is when you have the title, when you own the land. Right now, my house, I have like 4.5 years on a 15-year loan. It's owned by the bank. I don't own the title to this house, so I don't have to pay property taxes. Fortune, I think I will eventually. 60. Let's see, Tim. The central bank here called BSP have power over the bank. Oh, I'm glad you said that, Fortune, because I didn't know how that works. I didn't know. You're the banker, man. Fortune here works in the bank. He knows all about the banks here. Happy Sunday. All right. Afternoon, bro. Ginno, Pinoy. All right. Thank you. Washington, USA. All right. Hello. Agree with Ginno. We take care of our oldies. My wife, Chi, is eldest of 4. She's a doctor. So we got tasked of taking care of her parents. The father died in 2018, the mother March 20. Our reward. Yes. Yeah, it's like, it would be like, right, Fortune, it would be a disgrace if there's a family here that they let Lolo or Lola, grandma or grandpa, that nobody, if Lolo and grandma had several kids, the kids' kids, the grandkids, and Lolo and Lola, nobody takes care of them at their elderly age, that would be a disgrace to a family here in the Philippines. I have never seen it happen. Somebody in the family will take in the grandparents. Los Angeles Dodgers is, oh yeah, no, I know they're there. They're playing. I saw Cal Riley hit that 60 homer. I saw that. Congratulations to the Seattle Mariners. You're good. You guys are like the one of the favorites in the playoffs. So good luck, my friend. That's gonna be a good. Hopefully, we can meet you guys in the World Series. Go Mariners! All right. The family for that is we inherit the house and lot. Ginno has seen the portion of the property from photo. Yes, yes. See, that's the thing, it's like, people, the families here, they just help each other out. I know, like you see people sometimes will say, the expat becomes a walking ATM. Why is the expat providing help to all the family members? But a lot of that, you just gotta lay down the law in the beginning of the relationship. Like I said before, don't spoil your Filipina and the Filipina family at the beginning of the relationship. Shower them with gifts, buy them all this stuff, trying to show that you have money. And then all of a sudden, when you're like with the Filipina, married to Filipina, you're gonna be stingy. Set the groundwork in the beginning. Like me, I told Dazzle, I told Dazzle's parents at the time, I'm on a military pension alone. I have to budget my money to be able to live in the Philippines. So at the beginning, they did not expect help from me. It's me willing to help mom now, willing to help Leanna, willing to help Dazzle's brother Miko. All that has come from me. Nobody forced me to help them. To me, it's what families are supposed to do. Yes, there is a lot less religious confrontation in the Philippines. Yes, it's like Ray, you can be any religion you want to be in the Philippines. Nobody's gonna give you a hard time. It's like people just, like I said, most people in the Philippines, they're just worried about feeding their family. It's like they're not gonna, you're not gonna see like a protests all the time or political divisiveness and all that. You see that right now you're seeing like the protests against the corruption in government, but that's because people are tired of the government stealing their money. I can't blame them. I'll be like, if all my tax money is going to somebody's pocket, I'd be like rallying too, if I could, man. Respect is big here. Amen. Amen, Fortune. Amen. Right? It's all about respect. We respect our elders in the Philippines. You get smacked in the head here if you talk back to like your elders, right? If you talk back to Lolo or Lola, everybody's gonna look at you like, dang, you're evil. It's like you never, Lolo, Grandpa, and Grandma get so much respect here. Nobody like challenges them here. Agree, Fortune. Good morning, TextFed. All right, my good friend Brian, my baseball buddy. Man, we're ready. I'm ready for the playoffs, Brian. Brian and I, we like keep track of when baseball season. We're like we're always watching baseball together. We're texting each other. Man, home run, Freeman, home run. It's like we're always doing that when we're watching baseball. Last thing at my age is producing offspring. Hey, man, but the thing is, Brian, that's okay. At least right? You don't want offspring, you don't want any kids. So that would be something you would want to discuss with your Filipina when you meet your Filipina here. It's like, I don't want kids. And I know many Filipinas here that are okay with that not having kids. It's like I know many Filipinas here. I have Philippine expat friends that they're just a girlfriend for 10 years now. They're not even asking for marriage. It's like as long as you like lay it out there in the beginning. It's don't lead them on. Don't lead them on that like And I know you won't do that. I know you won't do that. You're a good guy, Brian. I agree, Fortune, respect and family. Hey, Edgar, I got pandesal for you, man. I got malunggay pandesal. So after the live stream here, you got pandesal headed your way, Edgar. Good day, Edgar, good day. I don't have any judgment on age gap relationships. It's my personal choice between two of those. Just my preference. I feel more protective with younger women than attracted. Have too many nieces. Yeah, here I know some people. It's like mostly expats, really. With like and a lot of times it's expats that aren't even here in the Philippines that make a big deal of age gap relationship. But Filipinos here, it's not a big deal anymore. It's like the big thing for Filipinos. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fortune. If you're an expat, you're older than the Filipina. The biggest thing for Filipinos is, are you providing good for your Filipina? Are you treating your Filipina well? Are you treating the Filipina's family well? And it doesn't have to be money. It's like when I say treating the Filipina and her family well, are you respecting them? Are you polite? It's not all about the money. It's like, I think that's just a misnomer for a lot of expats that aren't even here. A lot of times, the ones that kind of like bash the expats that are here, they're not even here. They're in the U.S. and a lot of them haven't even come here. Before you can talk about the Philippines, before you talk bad about Filipinas, find out first, right? Come here to the Philippines, meet a Filipina. It's like, don't base it on like videos that you watch or from vloggers like me talking. Come down to the Philippines, check it out for yourself. What do you got to lose? A plane ticket? You can afford a plane ticket from the US. That's nothing. And get an Airbnb for 30 days here in the Philippines and then check it out for yourself. Then you can judge, then you can judge. Especially for our elderly, regardless if you are related or not. Yes, right? For me, it's like, we just don't want to see elderly people struggling. Because here in the Philippines, unlike in the United States, you've got Social Security. They do have a Social Security system here in the Philippines, but it depends on the amount of contribution. Kind of like in the US, right? Depends on your contribution. When you get, at 62, you can early get. But here, the amount is just so tiny. For people, there's people here, of course, that they aged here, they never worked, they're housewives or whatever, they never worked, they're farmers, they never contributed to like the Social Security system. Correct me if I'm wrong, Fortune, but I saw a lawmaker proposing to increase the monthly payment to a Social Security recipient, somebody that's 60 and older. They were wanting to increase it from 500 pesos to 1,000 pesos. Imagine receiving Social Security for 500 pesos, $9, or even if they increase it to 1,000 pesos, $18. What are you going to be able to do with that money? So to me, that's why the insurance for elderly people when they get their age or their kids, their kids here are expected to take care. Somebody in the family is expected to take care of grandma and grandpa here. Good morning, host. All right, good morning, host. That's a new one. I've never been called a host. I don't hear manok. Nope, that's what I like about our neighborhood. I think every time I go out here, I've showed you no roosters, no stray dogs in our community. That's why I like living in a gated community, because we don't have that problem. I mean, the boss rooster comes here, but he ain't making noise. Maybe he knows, man. If he makes noise here and the neighborhood here complains about him, he might be a lechon manok. He might end up to become a lechon manok. Lechon manok is rotisserie chicken. He might end up becoming a rotisserie chicken. Hey, Frederick, my good friend in Iloilo. All right. Hey, man, you've been here over a year now in the Philippines, and happy for you, brother. Happy for you. Happy to always see you. So nice to see and hear you, brother Ginno. I'm taking a stroll to the ukay. All right, because you can. All right. Dazo wants to go ukay with you again. Frederick, she always talks about the time you and her went ukay shopping. Oh, thank you, Tim C. Thank you for the super chat. Leanna's hard work, the honor roll student. Anyone want to match? All right, thank you, Tim C. I gotta give that a heart. I'm gonna tell Leanna. She should be coming home here soon from church, so she will be happy. She will be very happy, Tim. She's got 7-Eleven money. She got 7-Eleven money. Such good quality. What phone? Oh, this phone is iPhone 10. iPhone 10. A hand-me-down from my friend in Hawaii. It used to be his daughter's phone, and his daughter got a new phone, and he told me, "Hey, you want a phone?" You know, so I said, "Hey, of course." Like I said before, I'm low budget. I'm low budget. So, oh, there they are. There's Leanna. There's Leanna. They're coming home from church. Leanna, your Tito Tim gave you $10. So you got money for 7-Eleven, and there's mom. Where's mom?
Hello.
Hello. They're coming home from church. Coming home from church. They took the tricycle home because they know I'm doing a live stream. I took them to church, but they took a tricycle home here. Morning, Belouz. Morning. I've already done the topic, Belouz. My topic was simple life here in the Philippines. Was my topic. I already discussed it earlier in the live stream. Good morning, Belouz. Huya, having a fiesta soon. Oh, Huya. Yeah. Barangay Huya. I think so. There's always fiesta in Numancia. There's always somewhere, some barangay is always having fiesta here. So I gotta check when our fiesta. Usually I find out on Facebook. No notice yet of our fiesta in Barangay Huyao. I gotta go to the barangay hall anyway, so I can check. My barangay ID is expired. I didn't even realize it expired. I looked at the back. Ooh, my ID is expired. I got to get a new barangay ID. That is the easiest ID to get here in the Philippines. I think every expat that arrives to the Philippines, that should be the first ID that you get is a barangay ID. Because all you got to prove to get a barangay ID is you live in the barangay. So like even Edgar, if Edgar wants to get a barangay ID, he just had to show like a printout from La Casa Española that he lives there, and he can get a barangay ID. I think he is part of Barangay Andagaw in Calibo. But the barangay ID, like for here in Numancia, is 150 pesos, I think, about $2.25. But it's an official government ID from your barangay. You know, it's a good start to get a barangay ID. An official ID here in the Philippines. You can use it anywhere. Like, and then for Edgar, if he's got a barangay ID for Calibo in Barangay Andagaw, he's now an Aklanon resident, considered an Aklan resident. So when he goes to Boracay Island, he doesn't have to pay the environmental fee, doesn't have to pay the terminal fee. There's benefits to becoming an Aklan resident. Off the record, the USD peso exchange rate is supposed to free market trade, but in reality in the Philippines, it's what we call managed rate, meaning BSP can come in and interfere. All right, thank you for that info. Maybe that's why I've never seen it. I've seen it 59, the highest, right, fortune. I've never seen it to 60, so that's why, because Bangko Sentral of the Philippines is not allowing it to go above 59. Topic, yes, the topic, I had it on my notes. But the topic was life is simple in the Philippines. That was the topic. BSP has over $100 billion in reserves. They can use some and control. Okay, all right, I get it now. Thank you for the explanation, Fortune, because now I'm understanding. I do hear that all the time, how the Philippines use the US dollar as its reserves. 100 billion. Ooh, that's a lot of money, correct. If the expat treats the family well, he will be treated well until his death. They will take care of you, right? To me, I think a lot of expats are looking for that, Fortune. Because again, in the U.S., you know, that's one thing I think that's broken in the U.S. You know, there's the family. A lot of people, when they age, they become alone. So many Social Security recipients in the U.S., they find themselves just collecting Social Security and have no family to like watch over them or take care of them. It's like, to me, that's just unfortunate. To me, family is important. For me, I'm happy that I have Dazzle. I have Dazzle's family. I know they've taken care of me when I got sick with cancer. As I age, we all age. We're all gonna get weaker. We're all gonna get sick. I know I have a family that will take care of me. I think Leanna will take care of me. She'll be a nurse. Leanna's gonna be a nurse. Tim C, looking forward to returning to PH in a few years for that easy life. May have to live in Iloilo with frequent visits to Numancia. I'm a little, hey man, Iloilo, that'll be perfect, man. It's like you got all the conveniences, all the American Western style food, SNR, Landers, they're building Landers, more and more American style restaurants, Kenny Rogers Roaster, Sbarro, Burger King. You got all the American stuff in Iloilo City, and then just visit me here in Numancia or meet me in Boracay, man. We're gonna have a good time. Thank you again, Tim. Thank you again for the gift for Leanna. I know she's happy. I know she's happy. Lowell, kumusta? Kumusta, Lowell? Kumusta from Oregon? Kumusta? Unfortunately, I don't have kids to help me. God bless, brother. And to me, that's another thing, right? If you don't have kids, so as you age in the U.S., who's gonna watch over you, right? That's a thing. It's like here in the Philippines, Lowell, like I said, get your health going. Get healthy first. If you come to the Philippines, at least there's a chance for you to meet someone. Meet a Filipina that will take care of you. Meet a Filipina's family that will take care of you, that will bring you into their family. I think Ray can tell you this. He's seen it here. He's been in the Philippines now. He's got his YouTube channel, Ray in the Philippines. He's seen it happen here, where the expat comes here and the Filipina that they meet, the Filipina's family, just embrace the expat, makes the expat part of the family. Yeah, I see that dynamic here all the time. I see people just come here and breathe new life to their life. They feel like they belong to something. They don't feel so alone. And that's the biggest thing, right? In the US, there's so many people. I watched the video the other day, just a lonely life, growing old in the United States, unfortunately, if you don't have money. If you got money, you got no problem. People there's gonna be people around you if you got money. But in the US, if you don't have money, unfortunately, it's like people just don't look after you. But here in the Philippines, it's almost the same dynamic. But again, the elderly, they're treated well here. And then for an American coming here with at least, if you got, the average Social Security, I think is $1,700, $1,800. Even if you got lower than that, if you got $1,500, you can build a life here. You can build a life here with that Social Security. But the biggest thing, you got to be healthy, because right now there's no Medicare here. So that would be an expense that you would have to save for. You have to have emergency money here in the Philippines for if a medical condition happens. I was just looking at my Facebook page. There was a person there. He's stuck in St. Luke's Hospital, and he's wanting to go back to the U.S. because he doesn't feel like he's getting good care there. That could happen. That could happen. That's why you have to have an emergency fund, so at least you can fly back. I know many people fly to Guam, they said, because they can use Medicare in Guam. But to me, it's just a choice a lot of times, because they always look at the Philippines as inferior medical care, and there is inferior medical care here. Some of the provinces, some of the hospitals I see here, they're inferior to the U.S., but there are also good hospitals here. Like for me, I felt comfortable getting treated at Medical City Iloilo. My doctors, Dr. Palek, my nurses that took care of me for my chemo treatments, to me, I've worked in hospitals for 27 years, so I've seen how doctors and nurses operate, and they're very professional, very kind people. It's like They actually were nicer than some of the doctors I work in the U.S. with, or nurses that I work in the U.S. More personal, they for me, just for me, it's important. They pray with me when I was going through my illness. So, I know that's not important for some people, but for me, that's important. That I see my doctor, my nurses praying with me while I'm getting my chemo treatments. Meant a lot to me. Meant a lot to me. All right, take care, Lowell. God bless. God bless, Lowell. I think that proposed law is a SSS pension increase 500 to the existing pension. Yeah, I saw it. I saw somebody was trying to push. But yes, both existing and proposed extra are not enough, right? Right? It's like, man, 1,000 pesos, that's like $18. It's like, that's not a lot in Social Security. Nice, Tim. That's why Iloilo City is the best, because you can still enjoy your Western ways, but easy to move to simple life from time to time. Yes. That would be a good spot. That would be a perfect spot for you, Tim. Just waiting for wife to get U.S. citizenship. All right. That's not long. I mean, she's been there now, so just get that U.S. citizenship, man. Leanna's such a good, sweet young girl. I think so. I think she will go far. She's got good goals in life, good head on her shoulders, very respectful, very kind, honest. Her teachers love her. She's a leader now of anything in the school. The teachers always go to her to sometimes she does complain to me. Sometimes she tells me, Kuya, I have so much responsibility. And I told her, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that your teachers are giving you responsibility. That means they trust her. So to me, it's all a plus. All a plus. Leanna wears nice dresses. Yes, all the dresses that Mom and Leanna and Dazzle wear, they all come from Ukay Ukay. They always buy, that's where they find their Ukay Ukay clothes, their dresses. Fits her well. Even before you mention the church they go to, I already know because of the way Mom and Leanna dress in the days. Yes. Like I said, Fortune, right? Here in the Philippines, it doesn't matter what religion you as long as you follow a religion. It's like you could be Catholic, Protestant, Church of Christ, all these denominations, at least there's like God, there's religion that's bonding the family. To me, that's what's important. I think a lot of times in the U.S. it's become so liberal, like religion is not a big deal anymore. It's almost kind of looked down, when you follow a religion. Mom raised her two girls right. Nice job. Yes, I think so. Mom did a great job. Mom did, and a lot of that, Tim, it's like, I think religion had a lot to do with that. Dazzle comes from Mom. They come from a religious family, so they've always been grounded. Tim, your wife is Pinay. Is she renouncing her Philippine citizenship to get U.S.? When you're back here, she can get it back. Just do the paper. Yes, yeah. I mean, Tim C. Fortune. Yes, she is. She can get her dual even before. Yes, she can get easier to get. Once she becomes a U.S. citizen, and then on your trip back to the Philippines, just get dual citizenship in the U.S. A lot easier. Congrats in advance. All right. On another note, I'm surprised you had a better, higher rank golfers, but you're maybe not used to playing as teams and fair. You never know with the Ryder Cup. I've watched that over the years. I think for the Ryder Cup, it just seems like European teams they bond more. It's like they get along better. Just because. For one, I think they just party more. They just enjoy more. It's like they celebrate. I think they just have better celebrations in Europe. Americans, a lot of time, even the American golfers, sometimes there's like rivalry between them. a little bit of drama between them. You know, it's like the Europeans always kind of like they work together better. They're like brothers almost. I love the Philippines. All right, Blues. All right, Blues. All right, I got to the bottom of the comments here. I did my topic. Time for me to eat breakfast. I've had a couple of pandesal. I have a couple of pandesal, but I can use my oatmeal. I got some fruits right there. I got mango. I got oranges, apple, bananas. So I'm gonna make me a nice bowl of oatmeal. I got oats. The full oats is what I get. I got these rolled oats, big bag. I haven't opened it, so I'm gonna try this. I kind of rotate, but I always get like I guess they're supposed to be healthy for me. I don't know, but it says high in fiber, no cholesterol. And then I'll cook my oatmeal. I'll top it off with like mangoes, bananas, oranges, apples. I just load it with fruit. And that's gonna be my big breakfast this morning. My pandesal is almost kind of like a snack before my real breakfast. Yes, process it in the U.S. A friend used to be vice consul of the field in LA, but last month he was promoted. Ooh, full ambassador to Turkey. Wow, nice. Congratulations to him. All right, Fortune. Fortune knows a lot of big names, big people here in the Philippines. It's a great source for us, for our channel. Really appreciate everything you do for the channel, Fortune. Thank you very much, my brother. All right, I think I'm gonna end the live stream here. I gotta eat my breakfast and then head to the gym. You know, I gotta get my gym on. You know, I'm trying to get fit here. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Enjoy the rest of the weekend wherever you are. Ambassador Ascalon. His mother, wow, you're Ninang. All right, Ninang. I can't remember if I had a Ninang growing up because, you know, when I left from the Philippines, you know, lost track of if I even have I remember when I was a kid Ninang here is kind of like a godmother. It's big here in the Philippines in the 70s. I remember I only had like, I think one Ninang, one Ninong. Now, when somebody gets baptized here now, usually they'll have like several godmothers and godfathers, and same thing when they get married, right? There's like several now. But for me, I remember growing up, I only had one ninang and one ninong, and I lost track of them when I left for the United States. Ilonggos, they're from Ilonggo. All right, Ilonggos. My parents and his parents are BFF. All right. First time I was able to laugh. All right, Tim C. Man, that's a long time. I mean, you lasted long, Tim. I appreciate it, my brother. We went to UP Diliman together, but he was a year older. Oh, all right. That's cool, man. It's good to have friends in high places. It's good to have friends in high places, Fortune. I wish I had friends in high places here. I don't have friends in high places here. Good day. All right, take care, everyone. I'm going to eat my breakfast here, get my gym on, get my workout on this morning. Again, thank you so much for joining the live stream. See you on the next live stream. And please, everyone, stay blessed. Stay blessed, everyone. You can build the network in UPD. All right, Fortune. Take care, brother.